The number one source of friction in your engine is not what you think. Piston rings rubbing against the cylinder walls generate more friction than any other part of the engine. More friction and temperature means more wear and less horsepower. Fortunately, the team at Total Seal knows how to reduce friction and wear through innovative piston ring design. If it takes a piston, Total Seal can build a better ring.
For more than a decade, FTI has strived to become the leader in the aftermarket performance transmission and converter industry. We've joined forces with McLeod driveline components under the leadership of Top Fuel Funny Car pilot Paul Lee, and now have a larger distribution network, more resources, and more power. Come see us in the pits and ask how you can join the FTI family. It's not cheating, it is the competitive edge.
This is WFO Radio.
Hey everybody, WFO Radio NHRA Nitro back on the air. I'm Joe Castello, and it's been a minute since we did a live show, but I'm super excited to be back. We've got Ron Capps after his FMP Arizona Nationals win, presented by NGK Spark Plugs, goes out there, blows it up, rebuilds it, comes to the lanes, wins the semis, wins the final. Matty Mania still going on, running wild, and we're going to speak with Ron Capps on the show. So if you're a fan of Ron Capps or Napa or Matty or any of that team, you definitely want to share the show, because we've got to rebuild the house of cards that is WFO Radio. For those that don't know, I've been off from doing the live show for several weeks, but now I am back, and it is as directly related to personal health situation. My beloved mother, is in the hospital, still in there, man, still in there. It's like day 27, something like that. But she is getting better. We are directionally correct, to use the Jason Line adage. Directionally correct. She's got to work, and she's got to do, rehab, and she's got to get out of bed, and all of these things have yet to happen yet. We've got to make it happen. But she told me, I feel comfortable with you going and doing WFO for 1 hour on Tuesday. And so here we are. Back to work, baby. Back to work. I'm going to talk a little drag racing and everything that went down out there in the NHRA Mission Foods series. We're also going to talk about the people who make it possible for me to go WFO. Please indulge me as I say their names for the first time in weeks. We did an Ignition podcast, audio only, late last night, which was great. But like the fine folks at Larice Motorsports Insurance, very excited to have Larice on board. Cover your racing equipment. It's that simple. You got to cover it. Your racecraft, your trailer, your tools, everything. They do not have all the exemptions that those macro companies have. The fine folks at Jesse Converters, Matt Latino. No more Mr. Nice Guy, says Matt Latino. That's great. You heard about Total Seal and FTI, a Paul Lee company. I have a feeling we're going to speak with Capps about Paul Lee. I'm a big sportsmanship guy, and I don't see it going the other way. Nah, fire the car, heck with Capps. But still, it's the right thing for the fans. And way to go, Paul, for doing the right thing, right? The FTI Performance Transmissions and Torque Converters. And thank you very much to Redline Oil and HusseyPerformance.net, Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, new Mr. 340, Josh Hart, Bernie Speed Shop, of course, Foggett, and Rodax Coffee and Grills.com, Marvin Rodak. All right, let's bring on the man of the hour, the guy who got it done, the guy who said, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Ron Capps. All right, Capps.
I'm trying to send your live tweet out.
Retweet it. Yeah, no,
okay,
this is what you're doing is more important than the show.
We're live right now.
I got some audience. We can watch those numbers go up, by the way. When people retweet on X in particular, the numbers go up rapidly. Now, but we haven't been on, and so we're crippled, we're hobbled, trying to rehab the show, just the way my ma is going to hopefully rehab.
Glad to have you back, Joe. We missed you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've watched NHRA TV. I'm a big believer in NHRA TV. Of course, I watch the Fox show as well. But Galvin and Courtney and Jason Logan and Hannah Rickards, they did such a great job. Without NHRA TV, I would have been lost, sitting in the hospital watching my phone, doom scrolling. It gave me something to focus on. And it seems like I don't even need to be there. They have a great broadcast. No. But hey, I'm happy to be there.
The Yes program was definitely not the same in Gainesville with you not there.
Okay. The Yes program.
Galvin did all right, but
We love Galvin.
it ain't the same.
Poor guy.
Bob,
He did well.
Bob still scared all the kids with his speech.
Good.
He scared them straight. No,
Yeah.
I'm joking. No,
And so,
it was
Bob, for those that don't know, the S program, Youth and Education Services program, it's like motivational. It's a field trip for kids. They come out, they see Ron, then they go walk the pits. And Ron is the leadoff hitter. He's the guy that like, it's gonna be okay, kids. You know, you're gonna. And then the Air Force was in the middle. Hopefully, that's still the same. And then Tasca comes in and is the scared straight bad cop closer.
yeah.
And
I
then
get
so-
motivated hearing him talk, though. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. So
All
anyway,
right.
all right, let's talk about you.
Yeah.
So nowadays you got to win the race for us to want to actually talk about Ron Capps and not Matty Gordon. Fortunately,
Yeah, that's true.
you did win. What's that
Everybody
like, though?
apologizes. Bruno comes over to do TV. He's like, sorry, dude. Where's Matty at? Amanda apologized to Top End about wanting to talk to Matty. So it's all good. I love it.
It's a very unique experience. I had a couple of conversations. Matty Mania is real. It's real. I heard you tell me that she sold out of gear 2 races in a row. Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that a rumor?
Yeah, it's been crazy. I'm so happy for Carlisle. And of course, she's got NAPA Auto Parts on there. Monster came on board. It's just been a lot of fun. And then we have the usual partners that we've had, that were on my car that we offered up her car. That's been kind of fun and nice. RevChem, who's been a big partner of ours, and CHE. It was cool to do that. And I did not expect, nobody really did. Listen, those of us that have known Matty and her family, and I envisioned what's happened and how well she did, not what happened with the fans and the amount of, they call it metrics, right? It's the social media hits and all the excitement and all that. It was ballistic after Gainesville. Her and I went and did a lot of media during the week after that to promote different races coming up. And the metrics from social media on NASCAR sites, on everything, was crazy. So she's very grounded, and we talk all the time about different things. And so it was fun. We could have easily gone out and made all these, Matty the Baddie shirts and the holy something that everybody loved that she did in Gainesville, and it would have been easy, but I wanted to just pause and make sure that she was comfortable with Phoenix, right? Maybe it was a one-off race that some of the competitors think that she's getting all this attention, but when they made the run and went to number 1 qualifier in Phoenix, and she went right down the middle of the track on a very, very hot, very tricky track, and she composed herself very well throughout all of that. It just kind of it told us, what we thought. We knew she'd do well, but you got to remember she's got a great car. And I made the comment on TV, I think, John Force wouldn't be the John Force he is today had he not had Austin Coyle through those early years, right? I certainly wouldn't have all these Wallies and have where I'm at in our sport without the Roland Leong, Snake, Ed McCulloch, Dale Armstrong, Ron Tobler, and now Guido. You can't, if you don't have a good horse to ride, you're not going to be in the winner's circle. And so it's been fun, but it is definitely crazy. Yes, Matty's stuff is selling out, and she's a blast to be around, and she's everything. The fans, I get asked all the time, is she like that all the time? Yes. I have to have a couple extra cups of coffee when we get together in the mornings just to catch up to her, and she does not have coffee. So that's our written rule, that she's got to give me a couple cups to get going before we go into Matty mode.
There's a lot there. I don't want to say I'm glad that I haven't been at the races, but I have used the opportunity to experience it as a fan. And the visuals are something. What's Capps doing on the starting line? Standing there, hopeful, watching. We've never seen that. It's new. And you've got this whole new perspective. It's not about you necessarily. It's just a new view. And I think it's great. You've been one of our more exposed popular drivers for 20 years now. And seeing you on the starting line, hopeful about this young person, is a new exercise. But you still drive, apparently, from what I hear.
Well, I try to.
Chasing speed. You were a big feature on that, hitting the wall, Arizona, a lot of detail on that storyline. Here we are a year later. You go out there, another big explosion. And just walk me through that, because, we could talk Gainesville, number one qualifier, whatever, it didn't work out. But this was a big moment. Both number one qualifiers from Gainesville, one in Arizona. I thought that was kind of interesting, you and Langdon. But it looked like the cars are just spinning the tires down the track, and you really had to like hustle it. Take me through that experience. We saw the in-car video, and it was nuts. You're covered in oil, but you got the win, a very narrow win over Daniel, which set the table for this big comeback.
Yeah, I didn't see him, first of all. And the runs we made down the track, we made a great 402 run on Saturday. We weren't in from Friday. That was a great run. First round went 97 and went right over. There's several bumps in both lanes. The right lane not as bad, but there's 3 pretty good ones. And if you just don't hit them right, and you don't have the momentum on the car with a clutch and getting the car going like we did first round, you're going to hit those. And as it got hotter throughout the day, we saw cars, dragsters too, not making it, getting there and spin the tires. We're talking a track temperature of 150 degrees. Like when they check it with a little gun, that is difficult to get 12,000 horsepower to stay hooked up. On that particular run, it was going. I got through the first bump, and I think it just sort of hit that second and started spinning. And watching a slow-mo replay, it's easy to tell. But it just put like 2 holes, then 3, and then 4 holes as it's spinning. And in my brain, I can see the finish line not far away. And I'm like, okay, if it just stays here, and when it spins, a lot happens. I had this talk with Matty about dragsters. The rear tires get taller, right? We've all seen pictures of these rear tires. So it will raise the car up. And in doing so, a lot of times with the funny car, you get the spoiler area up higher than it is normally, and the air can actually push down on it harder. Same with dragsters. You get the wing up in an angle when it starts to spin. A lot of times it'll kind of cancel each other out, and it will stay spinning, and RPM will stay higher, but it'll stay there a lot of times when you got that momentum that far down track. It put 4 cylinders out, and you can't ask one of these engines to stay together. I don't care how great your parts are. And we've got the best in the world, right? That's a lot of stress on an engine. And it let go. Like Guido was trying to explain to somebody in our lounge. I mean, you've got all this over rev, and you got these valves going up and down. They're trying not to hit each other. That's a lot going on in an engine that powerful, and you have nitromethane. So it just happens. And so it banged. Luckily, we got the wind light, which I didn't realize was that close. And then luckily also Daniel had hit his chutes and just was even with me, because I couldn't see right away. It burned my front windshield. The burst panel kind of popped up, but the windshield was black. So I'm looking at the little portholes that we have for putting us out with a fire truck. They're just a clear round porthole, and I can't see ahead of me. So I'm watching Daniel's car, and I'm on my handbrake, and I'm trying to judge off of him to not hit him, because I'm trying to slow down. I got oil under the tire, and I'm trying to slow down. And I didn't realize watching him that I'd gotten close to the right, and it just kind of kissed off the wall. I didn't want to touch the wall at all, because this chassis is so good, and that's where you do the expensive damage. So it just kind of sort of kissed off, got the header a little bit. So I was radioing. I actually jumped back in the car as they pushed it off, and I wanted to steer it. And that'll tell you if the car is good or not, the chassis. And then we told our kid, they left the body down there and they towed it back, and he said it went straight. So they were ready to bring out the backup chassis. We definitely needed a body, but we kept the same one. The steering wheel was off a little bit, but Guido said that shouldn't have made a big difference. And we ended up winning the next round and then winning the final. So just crazy day. It just added to the excitement. Paulie, you talked about waiting. And everybody in our pit area, in the funny car pit area, has been through that. We've done it. We have Jim Head. We've seen him do it for people, where he threatened NHRA that he's not going to start his car no matter who was getting up there. We've waited on people many times, and as much as not threatening NHRA, but like, hey, we're not going to start our car. We're just not. So what are you going to do? You can disqualify 2 cars. So it's not surprising Paulie and those guys did that. He's a great guy anyway, and his team's great. But it was cool, and we were thrashing. Then on top of the thrash, the car wouldn't start. And all we wanted to do is just start it and warm it and just make sure it started, and it wouldn't. they found the problem they thought last minute, and I just strapped in, and I didn't know the cameras were following us up with the drone and all that, and plus the in-car camera. I didn't know it even worked, so it's following me, getting in the car and towing up there, and just a zoo. And then when they pulled the mag wires, it started. I didn't expect it was. I thought that was it. Our day was over, but it started, and then on top of that, it blasted down there like it did. I was like, unbelievable, crazy.
Some of the best coverage that we can get, and it's maybe counterintuitive, and the guys at NHRA on Fox, and I'm going to mention Chasing Speed all year long because they went through this process of learning. You got to learn how to tell stories. You got to learn what's interesting. And that aspect, what we saw, the following of your team and Bruno in your pit and you overseeing your guys and you're watching and it looks to me, I would feel helpless in that situation, like watching the guys do everything and you're just kind of watching, waiting, hoping you're going to make it. That was dramatic. It was just dramatic. And then seeing you through the drone, pull up next to Paul, fire that thing, 12,000 horsepower, and then go down there and win the round. And then there's Amanda. Amazing.
And it didn't sound good when it started. I'm like, and I knew it was an ignition. Something had burned off in the fire. So we knew that was something to do ignition. So they replaced one of our MSD boxes and boom, it started, but the engine was hot. I mean, you just don't know. And I was just on fire the run before. I'm like, is it going to make it down there? Or am I going to have this issue again? So, we got back to the pit area. Bruno's in there with the cameras. There's carnage everywhere. I look over. Tommy DeLago is helping replace the fuel tank. I mean, he was there before we even got back. The DHL guys came down and asked if they could help. I don't know if JR was still in even. But anyway, I mean, all these different team members. Wilkerson came over. It's pretty cool. And it's always that way behind the scenes. You don't see it. But I think I told Amanda that race that day, Sunday, was won back in December in the shop. I mean, this goes back to me being surrounded by great crew chiefs and great team members. But you're talking about a prepared team, prepared parts. The backup car was ready to run as good as that car, if not better. So it's a matter of being prepared for those times of those happening. That MSD box, like last second, I mean, it was like they were hoping that's what it was. They were sure that's what it was. The fire was so bad it burned a bunch of wires off. So just those little things are because Guido is so prepared and he instills that in these kids. And Rob's the same way on the top field team. It's just these are one when no cameras are around, Joe. And that it's crazy when you think all those days in the middle of the winter in Indianapolis that they're doing all this, and that when you see it come to fruition is pretty cool.
78th win. Let's take a second to watch the NHRA on Fox call of the final round as you go on. And speaking of Jim Head, what a great final round. Let's watch.
They're rolling. And there goes Ron Capps. What a victory for this team. 4-12 again.
And he just let out an audible, oh my God. And Ron, after the second round, you were up here. That's yours. You can take it. Oh my God. After round 2, you were up here at the top end questioning if it was worth it. Was it?
I told you. You and I were going to see each other down here, and it was either going to be worth it or it wasn't. Oh my God, it is. Amanda. Matty, we've been doing all this media tour. Oh, it's so heavy. And this is the coveted one right here, man. Snake was here all weekend. I mean, just think of the legacy and what's gone into this. And we've talked about this. This is unbelievable. Oh my God. Thank you, Wally Parks, first of all. Catherine, everybody at NAPA, all the NAPA Auto Care people. You want to just take these and chop them all up in 1,000, 6,000 different NAPA stores, NAPA Auto Cares. Our Carlisle Tools came on board and done so much fun stuff with Matty and I. NHRA, 75 years, man. This is so awesome to win here. Everybody said I had bad luck, but look, we ended up winning. Monster Energy, man, coming on board has been so much fun. Ron Capps Motorsports, we're having fun right now, but my God, I can't even get over this thing. This is awesome.
I have one more for you.
What?
And there you go. And you get another one. And you get another one. They raised the game on the Arizona Trophy a lot year to year. You were not ready for the weight of the 75th anniversary Wally.
Dude, I just said, Caden, grab it. I had to clean it. I'm going to post a picture later. I had to shower with it in the RV because it had Monster and champagne and really good beer all over it. But dude, this thing it's like twice the weight of normal Wally's. It's got a cool thing in the back with Wally Parks.
Wow. Can
And
you
it
put
is
that right up
just-
to your camera, that thing on the
Dude,
back?
It is just something to behold. It is like, we heard about it and we're like, we always joke about NHRA and sometimes they don't spend a lot of money on things that you think, right? Sorry, Glenn. But man, you guys at NHRA, this is epic. This thing is so cool. My God.
That's great. That was before Glenn. Glenn is.
Yeah, true.
Well, 75th year, you only really get one opportunity at that. You got to do it.
And then Tom Patsis, man, he made that other trophy pretty neat. It looked like a cactus. Guido took that. I was kind of bummed. It's on its way back to Brownsburg, but he earned every bit of it. So pretty cool.
That is amazing. No, a huge victory and number one qualifier at Gainesville. You win in Arizona. You're off and running. When you and Matty were on the show a couple of weeks ago, and folks, if you want to see the two of them together, you can go into the WFO archive, WFO Radio TV on YouTube, whatever, find it. Really great interview to see them together. But you said the storylines in the offseason, Austin Prock and Jordan Vandegrift and what's going to happen and all the changes at John Force Racing and Ron Capps Motorsports, Ron Capps in particular, kind of flew under the radar. And I was like, hey man, are you, how you feeling? And you had this quiet confidence. No, we've been working on something. And for 2 races in, you've showed it.
Yeah, just a lot of crazy stuff. Guido also in the off season, we found some things. I didn't feel my reaction times were even good last year. Just kind of par, and not great. And he found something. My reaction times had been there. We just found out sort of why they weren't as good on the paper and the car leaving. And I just was doing the same thing. And all of a sudden they're back to being where I used to be. So that's exciting. The car, we know the car was going to run good. We had a great test, Joe. The whole Gainesville test, getting Matty your license that whole week really felt good. Guido tried some cool things. We put the car back the way it was when we left Vegas last year. It just felt good. And it was a purposeful, good test besides, the dragster side with Matty. So I felt good. And then the number one qualifier there in Gainesville, it's like, okay, we are good. And then we kind of threw up on ourselves first round. But yeah, it's been a great start to the season so far. Obviously the damage is going to cost a lot of money, but well worth it so far.
Yeah, that is the downside, right? You see that car and we all know you're the little guy trying to make it in the big world against people who are, Connie Coletta has got a pretty good business from what I understand. But you're doing all right. And you got good people with you. Pomona is next, couple weeks off for Easter. I would love to make it back for that one. I don't know that it's going to happen, but that's what we're working towards. And if not, then, we got South Georgia and Charlotte and coming back East, it'll be great stuff. But, give me your assessment of the 75th season so far, like the things that we haven't been able to see. I hear the Midway's a little different and the Nitro Mall is different. And they're doing all these, every legend in the book. Snake has been hanging out. Can you feel it out there? What's the vibe? What's the feeling out there in the pits for the 75th season? It is awesome. To me, people are coming out of the box strong.
Yeah, dude, the Gainesville was epic. Obviously Garlitz and Shirley and Snake, Tim Richards, Tobler got inducted in the Garlitz Museum. So we went to that on Thursday night and that was awesome to sit with Tobler at his table. And then at the track to have these legends, they're all sort of sprinkled in, here and there throughout the year, but to have them purposely there for the 75th has been awesome. Snake was in our hospitality tent like every day this last weekend, in between doing what he goes out and signs for the fans and does stuff. And then he was over hanging out. So it's cool for our people, our partners, when he's just sitting in there, they come over, talk to him. And so many people have great stories of when they were growing up with the Snake and Mongoose stuff and the Hot Wheels, that it's very cool to have him just sitting there. You know him, man. He knows he's cool. He knows he has that reaction from people, but he acts like it's no big deal. But it's a big deal, and it's very cool. And having Matty as good as she's doing and have him in there and making comments to me on how well she's doing. He was in the tower. I didn't hear it, but he was in the tower for both sessions of fuel. It's just been fun, and I can't wait. Pomona's going to be off the hook. Every race has a great story of legends coming out. So the fans are in for a special, special treat. on top of everything else. We haven't announced it yet. Allie might be mad at me, but we have Shirley Shahan's going to come out as our guest all weekend. The first female winner in NHRA is going to hang out with the 100th winner, Matty, and our group all weekend. And if you haven't seen the story on Shirley and her husband, I grew up in the Central Coast of California, spent a lot of my time in the Central Valley, Bakersfield, the tracks in Southern California and Fremont. But she was early on. This is before Shirley Muldowney, and she was awesome and still is. She looks great. But it's going to be fun. She's going to come out and just go to the starting line and hang out with Matty and tow vehicle and just be around. And I'm so excited for it. So they have that going on top of everything else. And for the fans, there's a lot of cool stuff, man. So I can't wait for Pomona.
Absolutely. And everybody, chat section, I apologize. Normally I put your comments up, and, Caps is the nicest guy in the NHRA. Is that true, Ron? Nicest?
Am I related to that guy?
I don't know. Jerry Helm. Welcome back. Can't wait for Brainerd 26. Yeah, that's going to be pretty wild. All this good stuff. Ron is one of the goats. They're calling you goat. That's doesn't necessarily mean old. It's just
it does. Good. But it's really all right.
Is there anything that I didn't ask you about? There's one other I would just bring up. I thought it was cool. Galvin mentioned it, and I was like, "Good job, Galvin. Good job." You and Dixon on the starting line against each other as owners. That's kind of a circular moment, right? For if you've watched the sport for a long time, I know Jason has and I have, and the Snake proteges are now owners on the starting line, and young drivers. Matty obviously is full time, and Larry helps people who want to get their license and have their first experiences on the other line. And you guys squaring up against each other. That's just a micro moment that means a little something to the people who have watched the sport.
I didn't even think about that. Larry stopped me, or I stopped by his pit area on my scooter coming from the motorhome like on Friday morning, and we had a long talk about just stuff and his program now and some of the things he's done and us back then being teammates. It was a great talk, and so I love catching up with him. But yeah, I didn't think about that. And my first win ever as a rookie was that track, Firebird, against Joe Amato, my very first Top Fuel event. And I still hadn't at that point even gone to the finish line. I was still not scared, but I was nervous about what I was doing. I hadn't even been under power. Joe smoked the tires, and I left on him, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And that was my first time ever. So there's a lot of similarities with that track and all that. So yeah, that was a cool thing. But to stand behind her car like that and just so proud to watch her. And the weirdest thing, Joe, is not being there. Like the second round, she beat Tony Stewart. And I don't know if they played her audio from her radio. She did not realize. We went to dinner for the celebration at our buddy's bar there in Chandler, Trophies. And apparently NHRA has the audio, but she thought that was her safe place and they couldn't tap into that. And apparently she was bleep, 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 Tony Stewart. Like she was so in awe of racing Tony, but to beat him, it was pretty cool. But I was getting in my car because I'm only a few pairs away, and I've got to get in my car 4 pair in front. So it's difficult to get strapped in and listen to what's going on and not stand behind the car. So I had a lot of first time weird things happen there. And then you hear that she won, and my crew guys jumping up and down, and it's just very cool.
So great. So great. Anything else? Any message for the fans? Anything else before we let you go? We got a couple of weekends off. Then
if you're around Reno, Matty and I are going to be there at the Discovery Museum. I've done it for the last 4 or 5 years. The women in auto care and a lot of the people in that area. Matty will be with me this Saturday. I think it's noon to 3:30, something like that. That'll be a lot of fun. Getting ready for Pomona, obviously. It's home track for both of us. And God, what else, Joe? I don't know what else. We're trying to. We got more merchandise of Matty's. We'll be at Pomona for sure. Some new cool stuff coming.
Will there be Matty the Batty shirts? Like in the end, you mentioned that early on.
I didn't want to put pressure on her. God, I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll just. I gotta
strike while the iron is hot. There's that.
I know, but I don't. I'm weird about that, and I don't want any undue pressure on it.
So you'll couple more races after her second championship. Then she gets to sell cool shirts.
Well,
so then it's just Matty Gordon.
Yeah. We'll talk to Kath and everybody at Carlisle. And it's fun. Monster coming on board has been huge, and it's really cool.
How'd that happen?
It just happened. It was weird. They were not even going to be around in drag racing, obviously with Brittany retiring. And all of a sudden we sparked up a talk while we were there getting her license, actually. And it just sort of escalated to where it was like, whoa, this might actually happen. Obviously Carlisle and Napa jumping on board, and especially Carlisle and everything with Matty. It was just, when we got the word, we actually got the word about half hour before the first round of Gainesville that it was going to happen. And then we quickly put the stickers on her car, and she was able to debut the first round of her competition with Carlisle and Napa, and then with Monster. And it was just, it's very cool that they're staying in the sport, and obviously they're going to do more. It's very cool that the eyeballs that will follow her elsewhere will take Carlisle and Napa and our sport with her. F1 races, MotoGP, all the athletes that are with Monster. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch her kind of navigate that. Supercross racing, a lot of really cool stuff that our fans also watch. So very exciting. But again, she's staying very grounded, and we have discussions all the time about advice she needs on certain things. And it's just been, it's going to be a lot of fun.
So much fun. Matty Mania is real. 75th season of the NHRA. The timing was perfect. Honestly, I was a little worried about losing Brittany Force carried a lot of weight with the fans for years. And as she goes off to maybe become a mom, who knows, start a family, we are gifted Maddie Gordon. Oh, thank goodness.
And they extended Brittany. By the way, she's still one of their athletes, which is going to be even cooler. Brittany signed off on Maddie's license with 2 other drivers, which was the coolest. She was there watching testing and just happened to be there. And Maddie thought it was the coolest thing that she's able to go down there and have. And that was before we even knew that the Monster thing was going to happen. So it's going to be fun because they're going to go do some cool Monster stuff together at one point. And cool. So anyway, I'm just glad that they're back in our sport. Our fans have shown a lot of support that they're back in drag racing, and just a lot of fun right now, man. It's just going to be a lot of exciting Carlisle's, with a lot of cool things Carlisle's going to be doing, especially with Matty and some of the, the aspiring girls and women out there. That's going to be a lot of fun to be a part of. Can't say too much about it right now, but it's going to be fun to follow.
Only one bit of breaking news per WFO experience, Ron, and we got the Shirley Behan stuff, so
yes,
that is great.
Can't wait
Ron,
for that.
thank you very much. This was a tough show for me because I was going to go it alone and just give commentary in case I had to go rush back to the hospital. You know how that is.
Yes.
And sorry. I went, well, when you won, I felt comfortable, if I had to blow you off, and I could have just texted you, Ron, I got to do this. And you'd have been cool with it, right? You wouldn't have felt bad about it. And that's why I would have
flown out and done the show as your host. I'd be like your Jay Leno back in the Letterman days, right?
Right.
Come in and
pinch hit.
It'd be a long flight, a long commute to do that, huh?
You could do it right from your house. And thank you for committing to do it in the future, Ron.
Yeah, if you ever need that. Yeah, I didn't know I could do it from here.
Yes, you can do it right from there. We'll set it up for you. Elon co-hosted, and now Caps is in the roster of potential guest hosts if I were to need it on WFO. Thank you, Caps.
Yeah, of course. Great. Yeah.
Great. I'm excited, man. I'm so excited for this season. This has been great. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Yeah, man. Love you.
There he goes. Ron Caps with us here on WFO Radio. That makes me feel so much better. Like, it's been a little tough, guys. I don't want to make it all about me, but I've been in this time warp situation where I'm 4 weeks ago and just doing exactly the same thing every day, coaching my mom up and going through the trials and tribulations. And to talk to Ron Caps about his win, about how excited he is, about Matty Mania, and just hearing some inside stuff, how the Monster deal came together, all of that, just awesome. This is like medicine for the soul. And you guys in the chat section, I see you all, and we're going to talk to you. We are going to talk. It's not going to be a typical WFO hour and a half episode, but we will spend a little time talking to the audience and recapping the other categories. It was originally, I was just going to do that. It was like, no guests, no Jason, no Josh Hatchett, just because I don't want to, take someone to schedule their time, and except Caps is okay with it, as you just saw. And so I was like, Ron Caps is the guy. I certainly hope things start trending continue to trend in the right direction. And to be able to do this show like I do each Tuesday, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Hopefully you subscribe either Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, or right here on YouTube, Facebook, our Facebook page. And I've been thinking, I've been doing nothing but thinking, guys. It's been just nonstop thinking. Our WFO group is really cool. And so many people have texted me, have reached out. So it's wild how many people noticed that I wasn't there. They noticed that I wasn't there. Lots of times someone won't be there. I won't notice until Sunday. And so I can't name check everybody, but thank you. Thank you so much. It's nice to know that in my work environment, I am, have friends, which I know that I do, but I have no idea I have so many. And so thank you so much. Get your comments in the comment section, guys. And I want to tell you about HusseyPerformance.net. David Allen and the team. I did a little pre-recorded show last week, just kind of shake off the rust and let people know that we still have a show and a feed. We're going to talk drag racing, and we're on PowerTube TV. And I muffed it and didn't mention David Allen and HusseyPerformance.net. And not just copperhead gaskets, not just copper gaskets, but they've got composite gaskets for anything you can imagine. They're doing burst panels for superchargers, the little gasket that goes in between the burst panel. They are just innovating, constantly innovating. So if you're looking for next level quality with made in America parts, made in America materials, the best of the best, call David Allen and his dad over there at 412-716-4872. I should probably have the number up on the little placard, right? So people who aren't bothering to listen, they could see it and they're forced to see the number. 412-716-4872. Call David Allen. Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, HusseyPerformance.net. Appreciate those guys greatly. And always, Larice Motorsports Insurance. This year, we've talked a lot about Larice Motorsports Insurance. Insurance as a concept. Oh my gosh. Insurance as a concept. You never want to use it, but the day that you need it, you're happy it's there. And the thing about Larice is that they do not have all these exemptions. Meaning it has to be parked in the certain exact place that we're insuring you for. Oh, what? It was at your brother-in-law's house because you're moving to the next race? Sorry, you're not covered. And the policies that get written with a lot of these non-expert motorsports companies, the thing about Larice is these guys are multi-generational racers. They understand. They've been through it. They know that you're going to have racing fuel in your racing trailer. And God forbid you file a claim, they're not going to say, was there racing fuel in your racing trailer? Oh, sorry. You're not covered. And that's what makes them different. So if you're going to look for a policy to cover your race car, your trailer, your tools, your pit vehicles, all that stuff, go to LariceMotorsportsInsurance.com. Tell them you heard about it on WFO. I am a client. I'm not buying the company like the guy with the microscreen, Remington microscreen. It was closest blade of your money back. I liked it so much I bought the company. I don't think they're for sale, and I don't think I could afford them. But I'm definitely a customer. LariceMotorsportsInsurance.com. Tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio. And we'll be back with your commentary right after this.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win.
Formulated to win.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Drag racing fans, check out Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. It's the free, family-friendly fantasy bracket game. Now, after final qualifying at every national event, you can fill out your bracket for all the pro classes.
It's free, easy to click on your picks. If you need some help, just hit the randomizer button to fill in the blanks. It's for fun, stay engaged, and pick your winners today.
Looking to replace your OEM diesel particulate filter or diesel oxidation catalyst? Look no further than DPF XFit, a complete line of aftermarket diesel particulate filters and diesel oxidation catalysts designed as an exact fit OEM replacement with all makes coverage for light, medium, and heavy-duty trucks. With thousands of units in stock, we ship the same or next day, and be sure to check out our comprehensive reverse OEM lookup tool. Always new, never remanufactured. For more information, be sure to visit dpfxfit.com. That's dpfxfit.com.
And we're back. WFO Radio NHRA Nitro, Joe Castello with you. Haven't been doing a lot of social media and just kind of scrolling, checking out other people's stuff, but really very little posting myself. But I do hope to change that as soon as is possible. WFO Joe on X and on Instagram. Follow along if you would like. Drop your comments in the comment section, guys. I just want to kind of look over the brackets for Funny Car and the other categories. You might notice that it's that time of season. It's the time of year, March Madness. The college basketball bracket bonanza is on. And I tried my best at our drag race bracket bonanza. Didn't do very well. Had Caps and Langdon at Gainesville. So that was just like over. I think I went back with Langdon this race. And so that was pretty good. But I just remember filling out the brackets in the morning. And I thought to myself, I would have had so much fun with these matchups. Spencer and Blake, right? Like that's the whole Jim Head connection. JR and Austin Prock. How great a round one matchup was that? Austin out first round. I am not worried in the least. I have total, complete confidence in the Prock family, their ability, Tasca, the new parts, the new cars. It just takes time. And maybe a little more time than you want it to, but it's so great for the story. Sorry, Austin, if you're out there watching, which I highly doubt you are. So great for the story, man, because people want to see a stumble and a comeback. That's the story that your fans will appreciate it more. The people who don't like you, they'll be against it when you make the comeback. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. The fact that the Force teammates, Jordan and Alexis, had to race each other. That was just wild. Caps with Rupert. You know, we didn't talk about Rupert and Tobler over there. Another connection. Ron Tobler just went into the International Drag Racing Hall of Fame. Caps brings that up, and he's talking about how much fun they had. And I was supposed to host the deal. Thank you, Brian Loans. There's a zillion stories that I'll never be able to tell. There's not enough on-air time to be talking about myself. But when I called Brian Loans and I asked him to do the International Drag Racing Hall of Fame thing for me to basically take a night of fun for him and turn it into a night of work, he said yes so fast it was like a trip zip reaction time. Whatever, whenever, however, I'm there for you. It's amazing. It's amazing. Thank you, Brian. But Caps and Guido against Rupert and Tobler, round one. Just so many amazing things. Paul Lee, the sportsmanship, that is how it should be in the world of NHRA drag racing. That's how it should be. And you know, Paul comes up short, but he's got a good car. Top Fuel, Langdon #1 qualifier, goes on, beats Schumacher, defeats Matty in the semis, gets a little revenge on Matty for the Gator Nationals. Look at that, a little budding rivalry, perhaps. And then goes to the final round against Leah. So great to see Leah back. And Leah going through the process. Leah gets a little revenge on Doug, Coletta. Just a fun racing throughout. I didn't see the Matty versus Smoke matchup as I was watching NHRA TV, and I did not watch that on NHRA on Fox. But now I'm going to go back and watch it. I'm going to go back and watch it to see if they used that audio. And if Matty's MFing Smoke in her helmet, that's okay. That's okay. Drivers, you know, the adrenaline and the energy, it comes out in the shutdown area. I'm pretty certain that people have said a lot of bad stuff about a lot of people, including myself, about my great friends. It just happens. It just happens. But what a great race. Billy over Antron first round. Castello Motorsports is going to be so tough this year. But in the end, Sean Langdon gets the job done, wins the race, Brian Hewson, and they are looking good. Let's watch that final round as called by the folks at NHRA on Fox. Let's watch together.
They are gone, baby, gone. A great drag race finish line stripe. It is Langdon doing the job. 387.7, 325 miles an hour. Sean Langdon gets it done in fine fashion.
And that diamond anniversary Wally is going to go in the hands of Sean Langdon after a bounce back from Gainesville to pick up the second Wally of this season. And you just told me off camera I got lucky. I doubt that, Sean. How much instinct is in these finals?
You know, honestly, it's all about the team you surround yourself with. Obviously, Connie Coletti, he's at home. He's not here this weekend, but I'm sure he's watching. Got one for you, Connie. And you surround yourself with good people. Obviously, we didn't get the start we wanted with Q1, had a safety malfunction, so we got behind the 8 ball. But Brian Hewson, Aaron, Justin, the whole team, everybody at Coletta Air, we got a great group behind us. We knew it was going to be a good final. It was pretty cool, man. We got a pretty good run here going at Phoenix, so we might need to talk to you guys about putting on a second one, huh?
There it is. Absolutely. 3 in a row. First time that's ever been done. Pretty crazy. Langdon going out there, and I think that would be a really solid championship pick if we were going to do that, as they have been bowing up, getting better and better. And, you know, Sean, JR said it at Gainesville, and Sean is kind of the same way. These guys are drag racers. And so if they're not winning, you see it on their face. And Sean has been, seems like a happy, much happier person, positive, sharing a little of that positivity out there, and the smile on his face, holding the Wally. That's all good stuff. That is all good stuff. Let's see. Steve says, glad to have you back, Joe. So glad your mom is doing better, right? Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. Oh, yeah, Eddie. Fast Eddie won the WFO Radio League. Congratulations, Fast Eddie. Thank you for reminding me of your tremendous success in our WFO Radio League. And if you guys want to join the WFO Radio League, it is not too late. The code word is WFO Radio. You should be able to figure that one out pretty good. Eddie, who went through his own personal medical procedure. Hopefully you're doing well. Joe, good. So good to hear your voice. Continued prayers to mom. Thank you, everybody. I put a little something on the Facebook, and the Facebook, and 2,000 responses, something like that. I don't know that many people. It's just amazing. Love your passion for the sport. Wishing your mom a speedy recovery. Guys, I love it. I will tell her. Talked to Buddy the other day. Buddy Hall called me. Buddy Hall can get his car back together for Pomona, hoping. Yes, me too. Spoke with Buddy. Buddy is a force of nature. You can use the word force to talk about other racers. And Buddy Hall is a force of nature. I'm not worried about Buddy. I do want to for the best experiences for him. So if it takes a little time, then it takes a little time. You did not have to be here today. We thank you. I'm pushing hard to win my first BMX race. And when I do, I want to scream WFO. Please do that. Please do that. And scream subscribe on YouTube before and afterwards. Really amazing. Keep dropping those comments, guys. We'll get them on the air. Hello from Arizona. Glad to hear your mom is doing better. Someone said that Loans did a great job at the International Drag Racing Hall of Fame. I had no doubt. There was no doubt at all that Brian Loans would do a great job. Just my humble opinion, people are riding the Proc thing way too hard. That's an interesting opinion. How so, Ricky? How so? People got to talk about something. And this is water cooler conversation. 0 for 2. They have yet to win. They switched over there. You and I, as insiders, and Ricky is insider, back in the day, did a lot of work in and around Pro Stock, if memory serves me right, know how it goes with cycles. But if you're a fan, just like the Miami Dolphin fans, you've got two groups. We're either winning the Super Bowl or our new coach should be fired immediately. Like, that's how fandom is. Austin, like it or not, is now a polarizing figure in the sport of NHRA drag racing. We have not really had one for a long time, and we don't know how to have one. Austin is a bit of a bad guy for some people, which is going to make him a great guy for other people. There are people that want to root against the masses. That's why when you go to the craps table, there's a pass line and a don't pass line. And everybody votes the pass line, but every once in a while, there's a don't pass guide. Like, I'm rooting for all y'all to lose. That's the kind of guy I am. And think of the Kyle Busch fans out there. Think of all those Kyle Busch fans, where the rest of the world, everybody has kind of created an opinion. And there are some people that are like, nope, we're going against you guys. The thing about Austin Prock is that when he wins again, he'll know who his real fans are. He'll know who his fans are. And it's going to be a really good place for him because he's going to have separated. You're not going to have a fair weather Austin Prock fan. Well, because he will have defined himself. I mentioned Clay and Tony first round having to race each other. So many interesting things. All right, let's talk a little pro stock. Dallas Glenn gets his first win as champion. Greg Anderson gets taken out first round by Chris McGahey. I'm a huge fan of Greg Anderson, but thank goodness for Chris McGahey. You got to get that every once in a while. We just locked in Chris McGahey for another 2 seasons of pro stock. Sorry, Chris, but that like medicine for the soul that he could do something. And from the number 16 spot, he could win with a great reaction time and getting up on the wheel and driving well. That is so great. Greg will be there again, probably next race, either number 1 or number 2 qualifier. He'll be contending for a win. But Chris McGahey, he's a good person. He's got a good family and needs a little feedback, a little bit of luck. An 8/10,000th of a second. He got it. He won the race against Greg Anderson. Really good stuff. Saw some other interesting matchups. The Cody Coughlin story. I like that people are starting to talk about the Coughlin relationships, that the family and maybe some friction or whatever it is. And we don't really know, but it's something that is percolating a little bit, simmering on the back, on the stove, simmering on the stove. So when Jeg and Cody have to race each other, people I think are paying attention and hearing Jason and Courtney, and great job by Courtney Enders. Courtney and Jason said every word. Hannah Rickards has had her best races back to back. The broadcast team is tremendous. Jason Logan. Jason is steady Eddie. He is as the sun will set in the west, and Jason Logan will make me laugh. Is that good? Let's see what else. Chris Fang didn't get to make his run. That was unfortunate. A little water. Hartford and Matt Latino. Felt bad for Hartford, but he just won the Gator National, so it's not like this long streak. But Matt Latino said some stuff that piqued my interest. No more Mr. Nice Guy. He's going out there. He's funded his season. The kid takes it very seriously. And he is not that others don't, but he is thinking about many elements, and he's new to the game. And I think that people that are new to the game, that are young and athletic, that take it seriously, that are out there thinking, and now with this little mini chip on his shoulder, he's still Canadian, so you can only be so mean. You can only be so not nice as a Canadian, Matt. It's kind of it's in the rule book. It's in the charter. So as much as you say no more Mr. Nice Guy, it's still Canadian. So you have to be. But I watch out for Matt Latino. But he goes up against Dallas, and Dallas gets him. Dallas takes out Greg Stanfield in the semis and goes on to the final where he defeats Cody Coughlin in what was a good race. And pro stock, I love the category. People who don't get it, you're missing out. You don't understand. You should spend a little time checking it out. Let's watch Dallas Glenn take the win on Fox Sports 1. Let's watch it.
Or will Coughlin have a shot at it? Within 3,000s, he's got himself within fighting distance here. But at the finish line stripe, the win light will shine for Dallas Glenn by 0.05 of a second. Coughlin's car was overly aggressive in the first 60 feet, spun the tires a little, and Dallas Glenn drove away for win number 44 on his career.
And already picking up a Wally here this season, Brian. But you looked at me after the semis, and what did you say when you saw this trophy?
I said, that is a cool trophy. That is extra motivation for the final round there. That thing is cool. Along with this Diamond Wally right here. Everybody at KB Titan Racing, they've had this car on rails today. This thing has been flying. It's glued to the track. It's hot. It's tricky out here. I don't know how I got a 27 out of that. It's not easy to cut a light right now, but, HendrickCars.com, Rad Torque Systems, Summit. We've got Holly EFI and Simpson on board with us as well, and this feels good. So hopefully this, I really wanted one of these Diamond Wallies. Aren't these things cool? Look at this.
Everybody loves it. Everybody loves it, the Diamond Wallies. Did Brian Lone say 44 wins for Dallas Glenn? Like I'm kind of rejecting that number in my mind, and I don't have it in front of me, and so I'm going to part the EU on the air. Still questioning. That's not possible. 44 wins for Dallas Glenn? Didn't he just get here? Didn't he just arrive the other day? This guy's sneaking up on. That's not possible. I got to go to the story. Someone, please fact check me out there. Let me know. I don't know the answer to that. What? Dallas Glenn? Really? That's insanity. Closing in on 50 wins. It could happen this year? What? No. Maybe. Brian Lones doesn't make mistakes. So there you go. Pro Stock. I've seen Amanda Busick doing a great job. Everybody is clearly ready for the 75th season. Other winners. Justin Bond, broken ankles. This guy had 2 broken ankles, and he's out there winning races. Way to go, Justin. To me, the most important thing that Justin Bond said all day was said in the winner's circle with Jason Galvin. And he said, when asked about being the sponsor of Pro Modified, JBS Equipment Pro Modified, that you can't just take, you have to give back. Like coaching your child's sport, you have to be involved. So me and my company are going to take a season as the title sponsor of Pro Modified. That sentiment, the way he said it, the way he put it out there, I agree with it completely. And it showed me Justin Bond's heart and where he's coming from. He's been this real hard-nosed competitor, but in that 30 seconds, learned a lot about him and liked him. He's also Canadian. So, as intense as he is with the flat bill cap, he's still all right, Canadians. I'm just kidding. Superstock, Tim Seymour gets the win. Justin Lamb got the job done in Stock Eliminator. Doug Johnson, Super Comp. How about Galvin? If you're not watching on NHRA.tv, you're missing a lot of good notes, especially for the Lucas Oil Series. Galvin remembered that Doug Johnson was in the final round on Thursday of the In-N-Out Burger Finals at Pomona, and thought his win light was on. That thought was so distant from my memory. I remember being down there at the top end, me and Nikki all day long on Champion Watch, all the way to the final runs. And I remember talking to Doug. I went over to him and he told me he thought he saw his win light on. I thought I had won. I thought he went red. And I slowly backed away, like, sorry, man. Like Homer Simpson going into that hedge, because I felt the agony for him. I've been in the race car enough a couple of times to know that that would not be good, to think that I had won and then find out I just drove it down there and broke out and lost the finals. So for Doug to get that win, like that's good for his soul, to clear his soul from a horrible experience. Super Gas, Val Torres Jr., Rob Mendenhall won in Top Sportsman. Cooper Chun, very popular young man, very popular victory in Top Dragster. The Mission Foods Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge winners, Castello Motorsports, JR and Doug, and Dallas Glenn sweeping the weekend. And Nathan Sitko won in the Legacy Nitro Funny Car. Those guys getting TV time. Really cool this year. All right, your final comments in the comment section. Let's see what you have to say. Back to Ricky. Negative feedback down on Prox. Totally unacceptable. This is just business behind the scenes. See, I disagree. Let people have their emotions, Ricky. Let people get as nasty as they want to be, like 2 Live Crew. Get nasty as they want to be, as long as they are not acting on it and not doing anything about it, and just rooting against someone. Boo, I don't like you. I like this other person. I want them to beat you. That is okay. And Austin does not care. And that is going to be the thing that elevates the sport. That's where money lies in that. There's a lot of money for and against. And that's really where everyone needs to be. Ron has one madcap team, Matty Cass. I see what you did there. Eddie in our Drag Race Bracket Bonanza says he got lucky. No, Eddie, it's your knowledge. It's definitely your intense knowledge of the sport, clearly. see what it's. Blake is out there. What's up, Blake? I seen you out there chatting. I just, been busy. If you come to NHRA Norwalk race, would you like to do a meetup with me and have some ice cream? By the way, this is Blake. Says Blake. Of course, I want to get to a race. For me, it's about little goals. Just like when my ma, trying to coach her up, little goals, like sit in a chair, ma. We just got to sit in the chair. Little goals. For me, I got to get to one race and then I'll get to two. But, everybody, it's kind of interesting. People are like, you're making the right decision, Joe. You're doing the right thing. There's no other choice. There's no other choice. Sorry, ma. This is what you have to do. You got to do the right thing. Great racing all weekend long. Now that Proc walked, I just hope this showcases Lexi's talent as it should. Maybe. Such a shaking of the Etch-a-Sketch. All the preconceived notions. You've got Alexis DeJoria in a different situation. Can't wait to talk with her, by the way. One of these days, we're going to get her on the show. The folks at John Force Racing doing a good job on that, too. I have been unavailable. Tim Seymour deserved a good win. Dallas Glenn, 22 wins. Thank you. Yeah. Maybe I misheard it. It just couldn't be. Thank you for making like I was losing my mind. That couldn't possibly be. But whatever. And sorry, Brian, for bringing up a mistake. I didn't know the answer. I didn't know. So, and there it is. It brings us to the conclusion of a WFO Radio NHRA Nitro episode. We did an Ignition podcast. We did an hour. We were on the clock, talked a little Formula One, a little NASCAR. Michael Jordan, 4 of the first 6. Wow. I will have, this isn't wrong. Prox will not win a race this year. I'm not a betting person. I'm not that guy that says, want to bet? Remember Fred Flintstone? Bet. That's not me. But I think you are wrong. And we'll be talking on every show for the foreseeable future. And if that were to come to pass, then that will be shocking and amazing and a very big story. So I hope you are wrong, but it would be wild if it happened. I don't think it's possible. I think that's not. Joe, I know what you are going through. I'm home taking care of my 94-year-old mother who is slowly losing touch with reality. Oh, Ricky, we don't want to take the show and put it into the depths of despair that is being sick or being in the hospital. I have new empathy for that situation. When my dad passed, it was rather quickly. And I was thankful that he didn't go through suffering and all that, what you just described. But my mom has had a really tough go of it. It has been very difficult to deal with. And I have all of this new energy about my new experience, about the medical industry and the staff and the nurses and those people who choose to do that for their career. And we're honoring people who serve and the EMTs out there in the ambulances, but the nurses that are in the hospital, we really don't take time to honor them publicly too often. I'm definitely going to do it. And we had a near-death experience and a surgeon had to come in and do emergency surgery on the spot. Like all of these things that happen to me and being on the emotional roller coaster. Let's be honest. Nobody wants to hear about that stuff because it's scary and it's sad. You don't want to think it's going to happen to you, and hopefully it never does. But to some of us, it's going to. And it's tough. I'm going to do some things in my own life to try to remain healthy. Physical fitness, and going to the gym and being strong is important. Mental, positivity, all of that. But also, the biggest lesson that I've learned, and I'll share it with you guys before we go. Again, I don't want to spend like all the time talking about the hospital. I don't. And in the future, like really, if you want to do me a solid, friends, the first thing and most important thing you can do is subscribe and click the bell and enable notifications for our WFO stuff, especially Life's a Drag. They'll be on tomorrow. But once the self-serving stuff is from now on, let's just treat this thing like it's normal. Like we're back to normal. Like my mom is getting better and she's going to be okay. And unless we have some sort of change in direction, let's just assume that's okay and talk drag racing on WFO. Can we do that? But the lesson that I've learned, it might not be what you think it is. That's the lesson that I've learned. It might not be what you think it is. And I have 2 examples. And so this is to all you folks that are above 40 years old, myself included. I can be stubborn. I can try to be tough. The Gen X generation, probably the last generation that was really guilted into being as tough as you could possibly be. You know, rub some dirt on it. You'll be okay. Walk it off. It'll be fine. You don't need water. Come on now. Those kind of things. That's how we grew up. That's how I grew up. It's a badge of honor. And that's me. That is me. And I will do it to other people, whatever. But you're not always right. A great personal friend of mine passed away last year, thought something was going on and he'd be okay. And instead, something else was going on that he was unaware of, and he dropped dead. And now I will never get to hang out with my great friend again because he thought one thing and maybe he was right, but there was an additional thing that he didn't know about. And had he gone and sought medical assistance, they would have probably caught it and he'd probably be here with us. That is one example. And then my mother's example, which I'm not going to go into her whole medical history, but she thought she had something and was taking care of it, doing what she needed to do. And she did have that. She did have that. Torn, muscles back here and whatnot, causing her extreme pain. But there was something else that she didn't know about, couldn't have imagined. So no one in this audience is ever going to hurt themselves ever. But if you do, please remember this. It might not only be what you think it is. And we need you to run that process. Just think about this. Joe's friend, Joe's ma. Maybe you might want to make that call. Being tough is not the end all be all to everything. And that's my words, not my mom. My mom's not trying to be tough. She just thought she knew what it was. And she did. And there was something else. Greatly impressive group chat. Praying for your mother. Thank you for your support. Proc will be fine. Proc will be fine. Yeah. If you ever need to talk, I'm a good listener. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you. And again, as we get back to normal, but so many people reached out to me and I'm really appreciative. Gary Stinnett, Foggett, available at Summit Racing Equipment. Talked to Gary quite a few times. Just a lot of great people. Thanks to Marvin Rodak. Thanks to Frank Hawley. Thanks to Total Seal. All our Total Seal PRI stuff is out and available. Chris Straub, Josh Hart, a lot of good fun stuff there. And our Patreon VIP Listener Club got Monday Motivation up and rolling. In fact, we did our first giveaway. Our first mega giveaway. This incredible thing that John Force Racing sent me about 10 years ago when he won his 16th championship. I decided we're going to do all kinds of Patreon stuff. Plucked it right off my wall. And Caleb won the random drawing, which, I've got this cool Peak Antifreeze, Brittany Force, John Force, Austin Proc autographed hat that I'm using to do random drawing of the Patreons. And people seem to like it. So we're trying to ramp up the fun. But right now, we're going to wrap it up. Appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. I hope to be back next week. Let's start a streak. Let's get it going. WFO merch is on sale, apparently. Thank you, Monica, for that. Thanks to Caps. Appreciate you all. Congratulations. See you next time. WFO. Life's a drag tomorrow.